what is kind of like a piece of advice that you would give to students applying to university right now?
You don't need to have the whole thing planned out. You don't need to know exactly what you want to study or what you want to work as. Just apply, go somewhere, try it out, and you'll find your way there, I would say. So like not to stress too much about it.
Tervetuloa. Welcome back to the JYU for You podcast. My name is Irfan Durmic and I'm your host with the most glasnost. Today we have quite the legendary story. We have the story of somebody who actually found a job through Job Teaser. I'm joined today with a former Finnish student ambassador and current math student at JYU, Annina Jurvanen, who shares with us how she ended up from a village of 100 people in eastern Finland through JYU all the way to a very successful internship at the Deutsche Börse in Frankfurt. We get to hear how the different academic competencies she developed through her studies at JYU, as well as the different, soft and personal skills she developed through her work as a student ambassador, enabled her to achieve personal and professional success. I hope you will enjoy. Cheers. So let's go with this. You remember Otto?
Yes, I do.
So Otto every now and then asks me like, hey, who's the next guest? Who's the next guest?
Mm-hmm.
And I told him like, you're the next guest.
Okay.
And he was just like, so what is like your goal to try and assemble the entire probability class? And I've actually low-key been thinking about it right now, like, that would actually be like a fun setup. Though I'm trying to figure out like, okay, maybe not everybody for probability, but like...
Yeah, that would be very fun.
No, I would love to have Hannah on at some point.
You probably should.
She's an angel. I swear to God. Like, yeah. I don't think I made like too many good decisions in my life, but the one good decision I made was like, I did the thesis with this woman and it was amazing. Hey, finally we can get to the most terrifying question that I rarely get to ask a guest. Mm-hmm. How's the thesis going?
The thesis is actually going very well. I started it maybe like properly like a week ago or something, and I have like about 10 pages. I'm very proud of myself, but it's only very non-mathematical things.
Oh, you wrote 10 pages of the thesis already?
It's not like, I mean, it's 10 pages, but you have the front page, you have the references. But it is still like 10 pages. And for a few weeks, I'm very proud of myself because honestly, this is something that I really don't look forward to doing. Like I'm trying to grasp some motivation for the thesis. So I'm very happy with how it's going. I'm very proud of myself.
Honestly, hey, so what did you say? You started like how long ago?
I mean, maybe a week ago. Okay. I mean, I started brainstorming a few weeks ago. And then on Overleaf, I started maybe a week ago. Dude,
you're awesome. If you already got to like 10 pages, even if it's just references, even if it's just like, bullet points, that's awesome. I think it took me a while to get to 10 pages. So, granted, I'm very old-fashioned, which I usually get criticism for. I did everything on paper first.
Really? Oh, I'm not going to do that. No way.
But here's the thing, like, I think it depends, like, how good you are with thinking while typing in Overleaf.
Yeah. I did that with my...
bachelor's?
With my bachelor's thesis, and I feel like that decision made the whole process like double the amount, like longer.
Oh, to write it first and then...
Yeah, because I did everything on paper. We went through with the advisor, everything like on paper. We went through everything. Mm-hmm. And then like it took me so long to get to the point that I actually started writing it in Overleaf. And then because I'm also like... It takes time a little bit to get used to the
format.
Yeah, the format and writing it there, and then it was I don't know. That was not for me.
See, I think I did the opposite just because like my bachelor's thesis I wrote it fully just like as I was having the conversation with my advisor, I was typing it in Overleaf, and then when I had to edit it, I was like, what the hell is this?
I think the best way would be somewhere in between, probably.
You have to find like a good balance.
Yeah.
That's what the researchers can do. Or nowadays, I had this one colleague would be an overstatement, but an individual who actually did their thesis on paper and then just took pictures of it, uploaded it to ChatGPT and told it like, write it in LaTeX. Now, personally, I don't think that's banned. Not 100% sure. Look the information about AI. I do not want to be responsible for people, being charged with plagiarism. Anyway, but I wouldn't share that type of stuff with ChatGPT. Like, hello, privacy. That's just like AI is usually at the end of the conversation, but at the beginning of the conversation. Let's flip it around a little bit. How do you feel about artificial intelligence?
I don't know. I don't know too much about it, to be honest. I just know the basics, like using ChatGPT or Copilot or stuff.
Oh, you actually use Copilot?
I mean, I needed to use it at my previous job because ChatGPT was blocked. So the Copilot was the only one that they were working with because they had like privacy things.
It always amazes me that like everybody buys the whole like Microsoft is more private. I mean, we do at the university as well.
I don't know what's the.
That's not my professional interest.
Yeah.
But so hey, quick little back little detour on the thesis. What's the topic again?
The topic is looking at different option pricing models that use basically stochastic models
Okay.
Looking at how we can price options with stochastic models.
Everybody here wants to make money with stochastics, excluding some people who made poor life choices. But something that I find kind of cool about you is that you have the ability to both do mathematics in a clever way, because I've seen you do the demos and whatever, as we've already mentioned beforehand. I'm reassembling the entire, probability one class here. But also you've demonstrated many times in your life that you can actually do social things where it's important to interact with people. So something that I'd love to chat with you today is how did you become a student ambassador at JYU in the beginning?
Yes, that was a little bit funny, like how it started, because I had no idea that the university even had student ambassadors. I had never heard of them. And then it was maybe 2022 or 2023. And one of these math professor, or not a professor, but a lecturer at the math department, he asked me or sent me an email if I have interest of being a student ambassador for our faculty. So for the math and science department.
Who was the professor or lecturer? Do you remember?
Yes, but I don't remember his name.
Well, if it comes to you later on, let's go with it.
Yep.
But I'm also horrible with names and faces and remembering stuff in general. But anyway, so you get that kind of email in 2022 to be a faculty level ambassador. Correct?
Yes, on faculty level. And I was like, sure, like, yeah, I'll do this. At the moment, like, I didn't really have too much going on. I just did my studies, nothing extra. So I had time for that. And I thought that it's a nice opportunity to meet probably new people and stuff. So I started that. It's called Science Crew.
Oh, okay.
For the science department or faculty. And I did that for a year. For almost a year, and then I got, let's say, upgraded to be also a student ambassador for the whole university.
Okay, so actually I didn't know that there was that like essentially Science Crew was the faculty's student ambassadors. Okay.
Yeah.
But did you at some point like do both of them in parallel kind of? Or?
Yes. For the second year, I did them both parallel. I did a little bit more hours for the whole university and then maybe like 10 hours per month for the Science Crew.
So what's something you really enjoyed about like both, Science Crew and just being an ambassador at JYU in general?
I think it was the people that I got to work with. It was amazing. I loved the people in the Science Crew and then also the Finnish student ambassadors and then also working with you guys, the international ones. It was so much fun. And I think that it was also really creative because I've never really done like creative things in my life. I've never been a creative person, I would say. And then we got to, plan social media content and film it. And yeah, it was really like, and then like you really saw the work that you did and how it affected like people or, you got like kind of viral videos and stuff, and it was really cool.
I really kind of get the whole like creativity aspect of it because I feel like the things that we quote unquote do professionally in a sense, and we're gonna get to the science in a moment. There is a level of creativity but it's a different type of creativity compared to this. Where it's like, I remember there was a, what video did we all do together? Was it the Valentine's Day video, or it was like some, or it was like that other viral thing? Whatever, there was like, when the two teams came together and we're just like, we were all just trying, like, hey, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. And it's like very quick kind of on the fly, like, oh, you can play around with these different things and ideas. But did you also get to do school visits?
Yes, that was also one of the like nice parts of it, or the best parts, was doing school visits. It was so cool. Yeah. I visited, I don't even know how many times, like tens, maybe 20 or something school visits over the 2 years that I was an ambassador. Some of the high schools that we went to were like really small ones. Some of them were like bigger ones. And then we, of course, also went to the Studia-messut, or the biggest, I think, like...
student fair.
Student fair in Finland. And that was really cool. It was so nice meeting... like younger kids and being like there for them in the, you know, them trying to decide where to go to study, and then, you know, sharing your own experiences. It was really nice. But
didn't you guys also get to meet some politicians? Because I remember there were some videos. They were like, wasn't Haavisto was there?
Yes,
Alex was there.
Yes, at the Studia fair, the presidential candidates were there, if I remember correctly. So Haavisto, Stubb, who else was there? But quite a few of them.
I mean, Tarja Halonen, I think, was also there. Granted, not a candidate, but...
Maybe, yeah.
I vaguely remember seeing that somewhere. I was like, is that Conan O'Brien? Oh, no. That's
that's Tarja Halonen.
Tarja, we love you. We would love to have you on the show.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't there at the place when the two ambassadors from us were filming with the presidential candidates, but it was so cool. They said that it was so exciting, and yeah.
Hey, you have you ever met Alex Stubb?
No.
You missed your opportunity. He was in town like a few weeks ago. Not a few weeks ago. Wait, like 2 months ago, I think.
Here in Jyväskylä?
Yeah. He was.
What was he doing here?
There was God, now I remember. I can't remember the name.
A speech here in.
Yeah. There was so they were organizing this like memorial lecture for. I believe the name is Martti Kari. I'll add it in the description. But he was the keynote speaker.
Okay.
At the event, and then there was like a maybe like 45-minute type of meet and greet with him and just random people from Jyväskylä in the library Lahti.
Oh, that's really cool, actually.
Yeah, it was really cool. He
You were there?
Yeah. Like, I had to take the opportunity to take a picture with the guy.
Yeah, of course.
I actually wanted to get him on the podcast, but like, you know,
maybe one day.
Maybe one day. You can't just, as I've discovered, you can't just go to the president of the republic and be like, hey, can we walk downstairs 2 flights of stairs? I got a camera. Let's have a little chit chat.
Just an hour,
just
like
2 hours maybe. I'll bring along kiddo, my friend. But he had really good energy. I've met enough politicians in my life where like when you see somebody and you shake their hand, you're like, okay, you seem like a genuine person and seems like a nice guy. And I'm not just saying that because I'm obligated to say that. I'm saying that because I genuinely believe it. Free country. But okay, so you visited a bunch of schools and like student fairs and whatever. Did you get to like visit your own high school?
No, unfortunately, no.
Did you want to? Or
yeah, I probably would have wanted to, but at that time my schedule was so booked. I was so busy and kind of overwhelmed with working and then also doing all the really hard math classes on top of that. So no, I didn't have time for that.
How do you feel about managing, you know, both the academic aspect of, you know, because a math degree is not an easy degree, and being a student ambassador and work and like, you know, just having a life outside of that as well. How was that?
I think I did find a pretty good balance. But it's also now I'm kind of looking backwards, so maybe I'm
rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, a little bit of rose-colored glasses, but it was definitely sometimes really, really busy, and it sometimes got overwhelming. But like it wasn't like that all the time. Definitely, it was maybe just when you had exams coming up, and then you were just like a bit stressed, you know.
Yeah, you're there trying to remember Ito's formula, and at the same time, like, wait, what am I supposed to post tomorrow?
Yeah, but no, overall, it was really, really good. And the student ambassador work is very, you know, you can schedule it your kind of own way. Like when you have time, you do that. Like if it's social media and stuff, you know, it's quite flexible, I would say. So that made it a lot more easier to just got the schedule, like everything fitting there.
And I think it's the awesome thing, like when you actually have like supervisors that are, you know, super understanding.
Yep.
And like easy to work with.
Yeah, it made it way better, way nicer. So yeah, it was pretty busy years, but like in a really good way. I don't regret anything. Like I had the time of my life, honestly, and yeah, it made my university experience like what it is. Like without being a student ambassador, like I wouldn't have had the same amount of fun here. Like it was a special thing, I would say.
I might be slightly biased, but that is a very relatable statement.
Yeah.
I mean, I was literally telling Helly a second ago because we were publishing a different episode today, and I was just like, this is, you know, 70% of my joy in this space at the moment, because it's like you feel like maybe like the annoying thing about science is like it's in a sense hypothetical. It's like you're coming up with these things and whatever. Maybe, you know, 200 years after you're deep under the ground, somebody's gonna be like, yes, this person came up with this thing that like we have come up with some sort of application or whatever. And this is, you know, especially when you go to a fair directly, you can see like, oh, you're actually impacting a student. You're giving them a perspective. You feel like you're doing something valuable. So for the senile individual in this space, where are you from again? Not country. Country, I know.
Yes, from Finland, and I'm from the eastern kind of from the eastern part. It's a really, really small place. It's called Rantasalmi, and then the town inside, or the village inside that place is called Tuusmäki. It has like some hundreds of people, and then the town is like maybe 3,000.
So wait, you grew up in a place of 100 people?
Some hundreds, maybe 300 or 400. I don't know.
That's okay. That's kind of cool. So wait. Did you guys have like a Lukio in the? Can I call it a village? Like,
It was a village.
Okay.
So the village that I grew up in, it only had an elementary school. So I went there for the elementary school. And do you want to guess how many other pupils or students were in my like class, like same age as me?
5.
Just one more.
Really?
It was just the two of us.
Wait, girl or guy?
Girl.
Oh,
We are still friends.
Buddy. Oh,
she lives here in Jyväskylä also.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
So we go back a long time. It was just the two of us in our age.
Wow. So wait. So how long was your elementary school? Like what? 7 years?
It's basically you have the like eskari, and then you have the classes of 1 until 6. So the time you turn 13, then you move up to the middle. I don't know what it's called.
I don't even know what is it in what is it in Finnish?
Yläaste.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I went to the bigger town called Rantasalmi for yläaste and lukio.
How was that transition like? Because essentially you spent like, you know, what up until the age of 13 having only one classmate.
Yeah.
How did that even function? Like, were you guys like super competitive with each other, or?
I would say we were like, both of us were really like kind of motivated in school. We were both like, we got really good grades and stuff. Maybe sometimes a little bit competitive, but like not really, because we were like really good friends always, I would say.
But do you feel that it was useful? Because I'm assuming, you know, you can't get a better teacher to student ratio, you know, 1 to 2. So how did that work?
I mean, in the classroom, it wasn't just the two of us. Like in the classroom, we had the classes.
Okay.
3, like the 1 and 2 were in the same like classroom, and then the grades 3 until 6 were in the same classroom.
Okay.
And then you sometimes divided, and you know.
Depending on like who's supposed to learn what.
Yeah, but on the competitive thing, I would though say it was really good that it was the two of us, because it kind of pushed both of us like forward. Like it kind of made us in a good way, you know, motivated and kind of competitive. Like, you know, you want it to be, I don't know, like
you both want it to be great.
Yeah.
But
that's good.
But that's kind of adorable, especially because of the fact that, like, I mean, you guys had to become friends. I mean, it's not like you had too many options.
That was the option.
But that's crazy. I've never heard about that before. Like, you know, I mean, No, not in Finland at least, definitely. But so what was the transition like, going from a school that, I mean,
Yeah.
going from a place of 100 people to a place of 3,000 people must have been like an interesting transition.
Yeah, it kind of was. I was kind of scared for that. And it's also like, when you move to yläaste, it's when you kind of become a teenager in a sense. Like you're a child when you're in elementary school and then you kind of become a teenager. No, but it was kind of easy though. In the end, I think we had a nice class. I made some really good friends. I'm still friends with some of them.
Are they also in Jyväskylä?
Yes.
Is that so? Is there some sort? Okay, you're gonna have to tell me in a second. Is there some sort of like a? But continue.
So in the end, it was kind of easy though, and yeah, I really liked my time, especially in the elementary school. I had a great teacher there, like for the person that I am today. Like, I do think about like a lot my time in the elementary school because we had that one really great teacher there, and also during my yläaste time. So when I was a kind of teenager, I was also really fortunate with all the teachers and the friends, and it was a very good environment, I would say.
But dude, I don't know about you, but like I would have been terrified to go from a place like, it's a village of 100 people. You essentially know everybody. You have this thing going on, and then you're just like, oh, like it's
but it's still the yläaste was still a really small. Like in our class, we had like A class and B class, and both of them had maybe like 16 or 20 people. So it wasn't like too many people at all yet, but. Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's a level up in a sense.
It was a level. Yeah, it was a bit scary.
Sorry, the whole story got me like so interesting that I genuinely forgot to ask the important question. So did the interest in mathematics begin in that?
I would say it started in the elementary school, like when I was a really young kid. I mean, I was always kind of good at school. Like I felt that school was always like really easy for me. And it definitely, like, I really liked mathematics, like, even then, even though it was, like, really basic calculus, like, you just counted things and stuff. And I remember, like, me and the other classmate, we got always these, like, extra questions and, like, little thingies that we used to do. Because, I mean, we did all the mathematics, like, on the book, like, really quickly, and then the teacher had to give us something to do for the rest of the class, and then he gave us like these puzzles and things to do, and I think that's when it like
developed. Did you guys do any foreign languages other than Swedish? I assume you had to do Swedish.
I mean, we started studying English at elementary school at third class, I think.
Third grade, okay.
And then when you move to yläaste, then you start Swedish. And then I also studied German in yläaste also. I was maybe 14 or 15.
Oh, okay. So
if I remember correctly.
Difficult to remember number.
It's a long time ago, so...
What do you mean long time ago? 8 years. Jesus, what is 8 years ago?
And then also I studied then English, Swedish and German also in Lukio.
Oh, okay.
So the upper high school.
Okay, so which one do you feel so how would you rate your comfort level in each of the languages, English, German, Swedish? Is that the order?
Yes, it is the order. I would say English, I'm pretty comfortable. Yeah. German, I mean, I can do small talk. I can like use German when I go to the store or restaurant, but I can't talk like fluently in German at all, not at all. And Swedish, somehow, the more that I learned German, I just started forgetting Swedish, and I'm at the stage right now that I genuinely like. It's very unfortunate, but I genuinely like can't even remember the basics of Swedish. But it's something that I don't know. I would really want to improve again in Swedish.
Oh, maybe one day when you have the time and the willingness.
Yeah.
But I do get that whole like little German-Swedish connection.
Yeah, because they are kind of similar.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but like I've heard Swedish be described as budget German.
Oh.
So it's kind of like I'll probably
Yeah.
have to get this. To be fair, that's by a Swedish person who was like, "You can don't worry," because when I was moving to Finland, I knew somebody from Sweden, and it was like, "Oh, don't worry about moving to Finland. You will manage. You speak German. You can read the Swedish labels." And I'm like, "Well, that is kind of how I survived the first 3 months." Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But okay. So then, Lukio, was it in the same region?
Yeah, it was in Rantasalmi.
Jesus. So you spent what 18 years in a place like for 3,000 people.
Yep. Yeah, I lived there until I was 18 or 19.
That's so fascinating. Did you get to travel like outside the country before that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My parents, they have both like worked abroad, and they have always like rather spent money on going on trips abroad rather than buying new furniture or something. Like they always say that themselves also.
Clever people.
So we did travel quite a lot, like when we were younger, in Europe, doing road trips, like
Oh, like actual like good.
Yeah, not like fancy like vacations, but like more like road trips and stuff.
Oh, but that's the right way to explore any place. Like there is a reason why those 2000s American movies like Euro Trip were so popular. It's like you want to just like experience it directly.
Yeah.
But dude, that's genuinely so cool. So, how then Jyväskylä?
Yeah.
What's the distance even? Sorry, I don't have a Finnish map in front of
the
me.
distance between Jyväskylä and Rantasalmi is 2 hours by car. So it's 180 kilometers maybe.
And how many VR trains?
I don't even know. I never go there by train because there's no straight connection.
Okay.
It's not worth it. So at the end of my upper high school, or at the end of my lukio, honestly, like I needed to choose something. I needed to choose what I want to study. I know that I wanted to go to the university. That was like always, I knew that. But I didn't really know what did I want to study. And at that time, I didn't really have a connection to any subject.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really interested in anything. I was kind of neutral about like all the choices that I had. And then I just decided that I'm gonna play with my strengths, which was always mathematics, and that's kind of a neutral option. Like I'll figure something out. And so I chose, okay, I'm gonna go and study mathematics, and then I needed to choose the city. And my brother was studying at the time physics in Jyväskylä.
Really? Okay.
Yep. And from him, I had heard that, the uni here is nice. The city is nice. I kind of already knew the city. And yeah, it was not too far away. Like 2 hours, that's a good. And then at least I had my brother here. So yeah, I didn't really even consider actually other unis or other cities. Because also I knew that because I had written like good enough abitur like papers.
Yeah.
I knew that
You'd be fine.
Yeah, I knew like I'm gonna get in where I apply. So
you just went like, okay, just JYU, nothing else.
No, I did apply to Tampere, I think.
Oh, just in case, huh?
Yeah.
But I take it JYU was the first choice because considering where you're at.
Yeah, it was mathematics at JYU, and then it was physics here as well.
Really?
My second option. Yeah.
That's actually kind of funny because those were my choices when I was applying in August 2022 here.
Okay.
Yeah, math was choice number 1, then physics was choice number 2.
Yeah.
What was your reasoning? If you don't have to share it, but I'm kind of curious. Did you have any how did you make that choice between math and physics? Did you always just like, no, I like math more? Or were you just like, it's boring if my brother and I study the same thing?
It was kind of, I was also like pretty comfortable with physics. I had studied it and I wrote a pretty good like abitur on that. And at some point though, I just realized that I don't really like physics. Yeah. at some point I just realized that. But then why I put it on my application was that in case something would happen and I wouldn't get the math position, then I could come in to the physics program and then just change the mathematics.
Clever.
So I was never actually gonna like study physics, but yeah, that's why I put it there.
Hey, you gotta know how to game the system.
Yep.
So when did you start?
I started in the autumn of 2020. So I came straight from Lukio.
But you came straight in the pandemic.
Yep. Yeah.
That's not fun.
But luckily for me, the freshmen, is that what you call them?
Yeah, freshman.
Were allowed to come to the
Classes.
campus. Yes. So we
Nice.
got to be in the campus until 2020 Christmas, I think. And after that, it went to,
Remote.
yeah, if I remember correctly.
Nice though, but still that you guys were allowed to actually be on
Yeah,
campus.
yeah, it was honestly a really good decision from the university or the department, the math department. I think it was, yeah. Honestly, if it would have been remote when I started, like no way I would have gotten through.
You know, I think especially like it's horrible when you're a freshman and you just don't have any. I mean, difficult subject is
Yep.
difficult by
Yep.
default.
Yep.
Now imagine take out your colleagues, take out the interaction with the professors, take out an in-person ratkomo. That's just
Yep, it's not gonna work.
yeah, it's not going to be functional at all. So like,
Yeah.
hey, respect to the math department in general, lovely department.
Very
Robust.
lovely department, absolutely amazing people there.
I mean, no, I agree with you. I can't praise them in every episode,
Yeah.
but I have to. You guys actually deserve it.
Yeah,
If there's one department that I could just like wave my hand and give them have an international master's degree program again, that would be math. Like they're just brilliant
they
department.
are absolutely elite. Like
They're all genuinely so lovely. Like I've never met anybody in the math department that I didn't not just like. I've never met somebody that I didn't adore in that department. Everybody's genuinely amazing.
yeah,
Uh,
that's true.
Okay, so how long did it take you to figure out that you want to do stochastics?
I mean, to be honest, I think like, I mean, I did my bachelor's in like it was just mathematical analysis, and then after that, I mean, then you just either had to choose stochastic or more analysis, right?
Yeah, I can think that's the.
And then I think that's like literally when the last point that I had to make the decision, that was when I made it.
Stochastics.
Yep. Because at least I wanted something a little bit more
Applied and concrete.
applied. Yeah. That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, analysis is. I mean, I'm very biased. I hate analysis. Even though, like, technically, when you look at it, what is stochastics then?
It's literally-
Applied analysis.
Yeah. You can't escape it.
Exactly. I mean, it's applied analysis where you just everything's a probability measure.
Yeah.
Over here, these guys are arguing what measures they're using. We're just like, it's all a probability measure. But
Yeah.
under the hood, we're technically doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we get to say that we have applications in finance.
Yeah, that's the most important part, I would say.
So wait, who was your first stochastics professor? Did you take the Stochastica and Perustetter or whatever it's called?
Do you expect me to remember this? Honestly, like
I'm just
I
happy
have
to
I have no idea. Yeah, I took all the stochastics courses. I genuinely don't remember.
Okay, what was the favorite one then? That's the important one. I'm not going to ask who's the favorite professor. We all know the answer to that question. But what was the favorite course?
Oh my god. I mean, probably the stochastics models in finance. I don't know. It was a really hard one.
Well, did you just take the regular one or did you also take the jatkokurssi?
Just the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess last year with Aya.
Yeah, I think so. Were you there?
No, I wasn't. I did it 2 years ago. But at some point I passed by your guys' classroom and I saw Aya deriving something and I was like, I remember this.
Yeah.
This brings me back.
No, but I think all the stochastics courses were pretty. I thought they were nice. All of the ones that I took. I mean, yeah.
I think they were really enjoyable. I like the way they structured it, just because it was. I like this. I need to talk to Hannah and Stefan about this at some point, but I feel like they do this kind of like as a psychological trick where they give you the topics.
Yep.
But when you think of it, the topics are basically learn everything we talked about. But somehow, when you have the topics in front of you, it just feels like, for me at least, it always felt a lot easier to learn something where it's like, oh, you told me what to learn. But technically, what you did was.
It's literally like everything there.
learn what we did in class, but I wrote it on a paper what you're supposed to learn,
Yeah.
so now I learn it. It's
yeah.
these little psyop
I
tricks.
agree.
Okay, so where are you coming from today? I mean, okay, not literally today, I guess a couple of weeks ago. Where did you spend the last semester?
So I spent the last 7 months in Frankfurt, Germany.
I love it how you just corrected me there. No. It wasn't just a semester. It was 7 months.
No.
How many days? Do we want to be exact? Germans are famous for their
I
preciseness.
have no idea. But it was around 7 months. I don't even actually know if that's correct, but around 7 months.
I give or take up to a constant.
Yeah, I did a 6-month internship there at the Deutsche Börse. It's the
German Stock Exchange.
it's basically the group of companies that run the Frankfurt Stock Exchange.
So can we just call it the European Wall Street? Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say.
I guess.
Yeah, there was a coffee place there right next to our office. There was a coffee place that was the Wall Street Coffee.
Oh.
That was the name of the coffee place.
So what are you guys gonna make a remake? You know, Wolf of Deutsche Börse.
That would be a little bit funny.
Okay, so tell me a little bit, like, because it seems like a somewhat random transition from, like, I mean, seemingly random, I guess. You know, doing mathematics here, being a student ambassador, but, like, you know, there seems to be a connection there. And then how did you tell me about it? Like, how did you discover the position? Why did you want to go to Germany?
Yeah, honestly, the decision to go to Germany was like not a plan A, not plan B, maybe plan C, I would say. So it was beginning of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And in January, so beginning of the year, you know, you start looking at jobs for the summer. And my plan A was to get a nice job here in Jyväskylä and, you know, work over the summer and then go back to, like, you know, study normally, like, just, you know. Plan B for the summer was to write my thesis, my master thesis, or start my master thesis. And then randomly, somehow, I ended up, just in case, going through, is it Job Teaser?
Oh, yeah.
The, you know, where you can find jobs.
You actually found a job on Job Teaser.
Yes.
Wow, I just lost the bet. I thought that was impossible. Okay.
Yeah, so it was just the random day in January. I was like, what if I'm not going to get a job here? What if I'm like, you know, what if like I just don't have anything to do during the summer? Like, what am I going to do? I was like, oh, let's look at some random jobs like abroad. Because I had been kind of playing with the idea of doing an exchange semester. So I was like, going abroad might be fun. And then, I mean, I knew some German and, you know, I've been there a lot of times. That's a nice country. I just started looking at jobs from there and I found a lot of really nice positions inside Deutsche Börse.
Mm-hmm.
So then I looked to the company, you know, where they are based, what do they do. And then they had like a lot of internship positions open. And then I just kind of went through all of them and just chose a few that were like I was qualified for.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent the application. I didn't really think too much about it. I just sent the application. And then it was like a few weeks and I got an email like, you know, hi, like we would want to do an interview. Like, can we do one over the Zoom or something? And then I was like, oh, like they want to interview me. Like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, we had an interview, maybe an hour. And it was not my best interview, I would say. I don't know. I was not killing it that day.
Oh, what was the... So, wait, what's the exact position that you applied for?
It was... They were all just like internship. So there's no like...
And then they specify
title.
what you're going to do. Okay.
But it was under Deutsche Börse Group. There's these different like entities. And then it was Eurex Clearing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a clearing house. And the position that I got the interview for was like at Eurex Clearing. Mm-hmm. And it was just... I mean, I don't even remember what it said on the job description. It was not very telling, to be honest, the job description.
What job description is?
Yeah. And yeah, pretty much like it was a few days after the interview. It wasn't like a long time, yeah. And then they just send an email like, yeah, we offer you a position starting from 1st of June.
See, that's what happens when you think an interview went badly. Imagine what would have happened if you thought it went great.
Yeah.
You'd be the chancellor of Germany by now.
And then it was funny because like I had also applied for like tens and tens of jobs here in Finland, or like internships here in Finland, like in Jyväskylä. And then I hadn't yet heard back from them. And then I was already offered the job in Frankfurt. So, I mean, then I took it because I was like, oh, this is nice. Oh, I'll do that. Oh, let's try it out.
I mean, it's Frankfurt.
Yeah, it's Frankfurt. Like, come on. So I accepted the position and then, started planning my move there.
So just getting a little bit back to the interview, do you remember what was the structure of the interview? Was it one of those like, they're trying to get a sense of your personality?
Yeah, it was a very much a personality.
Oh no, so
not any technical questions, if I remember correctly. They were really nice, like very easy on you, to be honest.
Okay, so you didn't actually have to do an integral or anything. It was like, no, we're not going to test your knowledge.
No, but it was just a little bit hard because the one of the interviewees was a German speaking, and I just remember just the accent was like throwing me off a little bit, and then I just had like some trouble a little bit like understanding. So that was making me really stressed in the interview. So it wasn't a difficult interview. I was just like, just mentally, I was just not like, I was stressed.
Oh, I think it trips you up a little bit, and especially I think it gets a little bit tricky when you know a language a little bit, and then somebody speaks in English, but with the accent of that language, it completely trips you up. I have this issue when somebody is speaking with me in English, but they have like, Rally English. Yeah. I have no idea what are you talking about, because my brain is expecting Finnish words.
Yeah.
It's not registering the English ones.
Yeah, I know.
So I guess that's plus, add the stress of the interview or whatever. It's like,
yeah.
What are you saying, my friend?
Yeah.
So how did the beginning of the job feel?
It was so exciting. It was so exciting. I don't know. I moved there 1 week maybe before starting the job. The first day came around, I went there a little bit, I was 10 minutes early. I met the student supervisor of my team. Mm-hmm. I got to meet everybody. Of course, I didn't remember any of the people from, I went through all of them and, hi. Absolutely forgot everybody's name. And it was also one, like, kind of hard thing about it was because the group structure, it's a little bit strange because you have the Deutsche Börse group and then you have these different kind of companies under it, and then it's a really, really big company. And then, trying to figure out what is the structure of the teams and the sections and like who is my manager, and like then there's also the student like kind of advisors, and yeah, it was really exciting, but definitely the first few weeks were like too much new information to handle all at the same, Yeah,
there's always the onboarding process. It's just always, oh my God, there's so much stuff going on here. But did you feel, first of all, did you ever have a moment of self-reflection? Just think about 7-8 years ago, I was in a place of 100 people. Now I'm in a place of 1 million.
Yeah, I did. I remember sometimes, it was, the first few weeks, I remember sometimes sitting at my desk, and from the office, the office was a little bit outside of the Frankfurt city, actually. So we had a view of the city skyline from our desks, which was so nice. And I remember just sitting there. I had the Frankfurt, the skyline with the nice skyscrapers. And I was like, damn, like my younger self would be so proud of me.
When's the deadline for this job again?
They actually have a lot of positions. They run internships like all year round. So you can always apply there, to be honest.
Interesting.
Yeah, might want to look it up.
Interesting piece of information. So did you feel like, at least, in an academic sense, prepared? Like, I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what E06 clearing is. Like, what do you guys actually do? If it's not a state secret.
Okay, so I'll try to explain.
Dumb it down like I'm 5.
Yeah, but like, see, like, I don't even like know all of it myself. It's basically you have Eurex, which is an exchange for derivatives, and then you have, you know, derivatives being traded at the Eurex exchange, and then you have the Eurex clearing, which is a clearing house. So when derivatives are being traded, you have the T+2 kind of cycle. So it leaves 2 days kind of, you know, or you have basically risk involved because the trades don't
happen immediately.
happen immediately. So when the trade like happens, it goes through kind of like, you have first clearing. What Eurex clearing does? Don't ask me like too specific questions. And then after that, you have the clearing, and then you have settlement. And then the T+2 is like, you know, the settlement then happens in the end.
Okay.
So it's just one piece of
The puzzle.
Yeah, one piece of the puzzle.
So what's the thing that like you did concretely?
What I did there, I mean, I had quite a few like main tasks. If I give like some of the concrete ones,
Sure.
One of them was obviously a huge amount of data, you know, going there. What I did is I kind of analyzed some like transaction data from our clients, so we can see who is trading what, when, and at what price. And you know, you have data on that. And what I did is I looked through the data and I was trying to identify potential money laundering or like tax fraud from the data.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because you have some around dividend dates when your companies are paying dividends. You can basically use that time to do like cum or cum-ex, basically tax fraud.
Yeah,
It was really, really big cases on that, like some, I don't even know how many years ago, but still, like, you know, that's one strategy for tax fraud.
Okay.
And then I was just trying to find suspicious activities, and you know, you can just see it from the graph when you.
Well, did you guys use Benford at all?
Sorry.
Benford?
I don't know.
Never mind. We'll after this. But dude,
that was like, for example, one thing that I did. Other things were kind of similar. So I had a bunch of data, and then I was trying to get some information out of it. I either like used like Power BI to create visuals, or you know, write reports on some data, and yeah, and then also some more, let's say, easier tasks, like doing some it was actually a really fun one. We did this monthly news kind of overview. So there was 3 students in the team, or 3 interns. We kept track of all the, you know, what's happening in the market, financial markets, and then by the end of every month we, you know, collected the most important, you know,
piece of information.
Yeah, pieces of information, and created a nice PowerPoint and distributed it. So yeah, so there was some more challenging tasks, and then some of them were more like, you know, day-to-day, like easier tasks.
Hey, but no, this genuinely sounds so interesting, and I mean, I'm assuming you can see the immediate, you know, connection between the studies and also the ambassador work. You know, studies hopefully preparing you to do the actual practical, as you call them, the difficult tasks of the day. And then on the other hand, you know, refining your presentation skills through the ambassador work.
Yeah.
But how actually well prepared did you feel? Like, you know, like when you were working on a daily basis, did you feel just like, I've learned this in classes before, or did you feel at least like the classes gave me the, you know, the muscles to learn how to do this?
Yeah, it was maybe, it was not straightly connected to the studies, like math usually isn't. It was not like one-to-one match.
Yeah.
It was more like, okay, like with the skills that I've learned, like learning mathematics and, you know, this kind of soft skills like analytical thinking, you know, problem solving. It was more that came into hand on the everyday like work there, I would say. And then, I mean, more practical things or like what I did here in like uni, like some programming courses, were definitely like helpful, I would say.
A lot of Python, I would assume.
Yeah, Python, and then what else did we use there? Python, yeah, mostly. And then, I mean, if you use Power BI, then you gotta use some, I don't even know what is the language there.
Oh,
inside Power BI.
I try to avoid Power BI like the plague. It's one of those things. Like if somebody forces me to do something in it, I might do it. But if I don't have to, I will try to avoid it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the internship was like 6 months, and did you have any sort of an option to kind of? I mean, okay, you're still technically studying, so I guess there wasn't really an option to just like switch into permanent work.
Yeah, it was never really an option for me, and also there was no, at least in that team, there were no open positions at the moment. So it was always clear to me that once the internship is done, like I will move back to Jyväskylä to finish my studies.
So what's kind of the plan right now for you? You've gotten this like. You know, I want to say like huge international experience, and I'm actually kind of curious. So like, because you mentioned to me that you had like an international team, somewhat. How was that vibe? Like, how did that feel? Just to like work with a bunch of random people from different countries.
It was actually really cool because I've never been in that international environment before, I would say. And then all of a sudden, I go into this office. First of all, the office is huge. There's like probably, I don't know, thousands of people working in that office, and then everybody is from all around the world. Like it's not German people mostly working there, it's international people. It was so nice. It was really refreshing. And honestly, like I met, for example, like I had a lot of Indian friends there. And I never knew that Indian people were so cool because I haven't had any Indian friends here in Finland because there's not many Indian people here. But like they're like, oh, they were so cool people. And then, yeah, it was so nice learning about everybody's culture and especially their like cuisines or like, you know, the food culture. Like my Indian friends then took me to some like Indian places and some Indian festivals and, you know, yeah, it was really refreshing. And it's a really big difference compared to being here in Jyväskylä.
Yeah, you get a completely different perspective. Also, you just got me on the Indian food. Like when I lived in the States, Jesus, I think like every day while I had a good salary, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a chicken tikka masala.
Yeah, I know.
No, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
And now I'm senile. I forgot what I was gonna. Yeah. So did you completely manage fine in English in the workspace?
Yeah. It was all the work was done in English. And I would say, yeah, I didn't have any trouble with the language, to be honest.
And did you rent an apartment for yourself somewhere? Did they hand? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to rent my own apartment and pay.
I guess that's the negative part of Frankfurt when you look at the rent.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, compared to here, which, you know, it's...
Yeah, here it's, like, so nice.
I mean, here it's, like, you know, pocket change compared to, like, you know, any bigger, you know, metropolitan area. Speaking of bigger metropolitan areas, what is the next step for you?
So the next step for me is move to Helsinki for a new role at the OP Kiitorata trainee program. So another 6 months of working and trying to somehow finish my studies in the meantime.
It sounds like you're complaining about being paid while studying. Your life is so difficult.
I know. I'm not complaining. I'm so fortunate.
I sympathize with you so much. Must be difficult. I mean, hero over here. No, but I mean, I think you're not the first person that like went from stochastics to OP. I think like there's a little stochastic colony over there.
Yeah, that's what I've also heard from Hannah, I think.
I think somebody at some point told me like maybe even it was Hannah. No, it wasn't Hannah. Some student told me that like 9 out of 10 if you go to like one of the bigger Finnish banks and you say like, oh yeah, I had like the Geisses ads, professors are gonna be like, oh yeah, we know the lecture notes. Great people.
Yeah.
So okay, so when do you start the program officially? What, in March?
Yeah, beginning of March. But I'm moving here, so then I will have a 1 month in Helsinki just to
work on the thesis.
Work on the thesis, yeah. Hopefully explore the city a little bit. I mean, I know Helsinki, but I've never lived there before, so.
You planning to like, you know, drop by every now and then here to have like, you know, at least the thesis meetings? In person, they're a lot more fun, trust me.
Yeah, I know. I'll probably stop by here every now and then, but probably not too often.
Hey, Ynä-Napro is March 26th. That's the recommendation. Not sponsored by Ynä, but we like to, advertise them.
Yeah.
At least I try to, considering that we do get discounts at Sohvi because of them. So, what's kind of like, do you have any sort of like a perspective for the future? Like, what's kind of the hope right now? Because it seems to me that like Frankfurt was very, in a sense, unexpected, but it was a logical continuation of your, trajectory.
Yes.
And right now also OP, in a sense, it's a natural, continuation. Do you have any type of a hope?
Honestly, my plans for, at least at the moment, like I do want to stay in the field of finance, I would say. I like it. I think it's a nice challenge, I would say. So that, to be honest, one day I would want to go back to Frankfurt. I like the place so much. So, yeah. And of course also for finance, like Frankfurt is one of the places to be in Europe.
It's like that meme, Here comes the money.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't have any too specific goals because also I just like to see where life takes you,
I'll take it step by step.
Yeah.
So, were you kind of surprised that a Finnish degree could open so many doors?
Yeah.
Or I guess a JYU degree, if we're going to be very specific.
I mean, I've never really thought about it. I mean, I guess I was not that surprised because I do know that the Finnish education system is a very looked like people like kind of praise it for a reason, I would say. And also like JYU is a pretty like kind of international place also. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, kind of yeah, but kind of no. Because I do also know like people who have gone, abroad from here and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it is this fascinating thing where like nobody really thinks about like how valuable is my degree outside of my own country.
Yeah.
But then when
it's not really something you think about, I think.
But then when you get the direct example of like, yeah, clearly it can work out. So, application season for the international folk has probably finished already, depending on when we release this. For the Finnish students, I believe it's in March.
Yes, I think it's beginning in some.
So we still have an opportunity to give them. So, as a current student ambassador to, former student ambassador, what is kind of like a piece of advice that you would give to students applying to university right now?
Honestly, I would just say like, you don't need to have like the whole thing planned out. You don't need to know exactly what you want to study or what you want to work as. Just apply to a university or a program that might be good for you, Go there, try it out. In University of Jyväskylä, you are really open to change in between. Like, if you start here somewhere, like you can take classes also outside of that program. So, like, it's not that serious. Just apply, go somewhere, try it out, and you'll find your way there, I would say. So, like, not to stress too much about it.
Yeah, just give it a shot and,
Yeah, just give it a shot.
Let the chips fall wherever they may. I think that's the expression for Fight Club. Since some people that are still studying might be applying to jobs, what's a recommendation that you have to them? Other than look at job teas, which apparently sometimes can actually work.
Oh my God, I don't even know. I mean, I would say don't is it downplay your
Yeah, don't downplay your own.
Yeah, own strengths and stuff. Like I was just talking with this to my one friend, and you gotta be proud of the work that you have done and your own abilities and qualifications. Like you gotta be proud of them. So there's no reason to kind of think too small. Yeah, don't think too small of yourself and just, be confident and show it in your applications and in your CV. This is who I am and this is what I've done and, yeah.
Put out your best self to the best extent that you can.
Yeah.
Well, hey, friend, I know you gotta pack up, a bunch of stuff before you move, so I'm not gonna keep you any longer. I just want to say, hey, thanks a bunch. It was a pleasure just listening to this story, and I always love to hear people showcase how, you know, people have this opinion of mathematicians and scientists that they're kind of like, you know, very narrow in a field.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can do a lot of stuff with a math degree.
Yes, you can.
And if you guys would like to figure out what are all the magical things you can do with a degree from JYU, apply to JYU, check out Job Teaser when you're a student, and we will see you again in 2 weeks. Have an awesome weekend. Thank you guys. Kiitos ja moikka. Cheers.
Thank you, bye.